Hello everyone, welcome to another wonderful video here of Level Up Mental Health. My name is Swizz. Got a great topic here to review. We're talking about communication, how to respect yourself and how to respect others in conversations. It can be very hard, especially in this day and age where we feel respect in conversations may not be happening these days. But the key here is to be able to, again, kind of remind ourselves and advocate for ourselves to ensure we're able to communicate our needs as well as respect others. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the worksheet here. And here we are. Now, the whole goal here that we're trying to do is have that effective interpersonal relationship. And in order to do that, we are going to look at these three acronyms here to help communicate effectively towards others, towards ourselves, to make sure that we're respecting ourselves and ensure that our values are upheld. Okay? So, obviously, it can be hard to get along with others when everyone has their own needs, their thoughts, their feelings, values, whatever it may be. But if we can follow along with these particular acronyms, we may be able to get what we need here. And let's start with the first one here of Dear Man. So this is broken down into 7 different areas. We have describe, express, assert, reinforce, mindful, appear, and negotiate. So let's take a look at what each of these are. So the first thing here, as we're diving into Dear Man, the whole goal here is to be able to communicate effectively what we want, right? In order to do that, we're going to start with describing. So be able to describe what it is that we want. Not being able to have a vague particular request. So the example they give here is, could you please clean? Obviously, we don't know what that means, right? We're cleaning what? What are we cleaning here? Someone may not know what you mean by that. So the goal is to be descriptive of what we're trying to ask. Hey, can you please clean the dishes before going to bed, right? Like, you know what that looks like, you know what needs to get done, and it feels more kind of, visual, more apparent for what needs to happen. Next one here is express. So let others know how a situation makes you feel by clearly expressing your feelings. Don't expect others to read your mind. Using the I feel line. So I feel excited, I feel scared, I feel frustrated, I feel nervous. And being able to describe why you feel that way. And if someone's hearing that, they can understand kind of your position that you have about whatever the situation may be. Assert. Don't beat around the bush. Say what you need to say. Don't say, oh, well, I don't know if I can cook tonight. We want to say, oh, I can't cook tonight because I'm working late, right? We want to be assertive with our commentary to make sure that the point is getting across for what we need. Next one here, the reinforce. So if someone is able to hear us and respect us, we want to reward that. Things like thank you or, a smile, those can be reinforcements to help encourage effective communication, especially in the future. Next one here, the mindful. So we want to ensure that we're keeping that topic of conversation, the objective of the interaction, in focus. We don't want to get sidetracked into harmful arguments or, something's kind of making us upset. We want to focus on the topic as to what we're trying to communicate here. Next one's appear. Appear confident, posture, tone, eye contact, body language. Just kind of be aware of how you're responding. I know a lot of the times someone, if you're like I do it sometimes where I'm like crossing my arms, it seems kind of put offish. To me personally, I do it for like some nervousness, some comfort. Or, there is times where it does feel like I'm being closed off. So you just want to be mindful about kind of what your posture is. It may lead to kind of difficulties in having those communications with others. Last one here, negotiate. So it's always the hardest thing to be taking that step back with certain things. But the goal here is to ensure, hey, what is the way that we can kind of work on this together, right? How can we both get what we need from this? Certain things here, the one they say, if you wash the dishes, I'll put them away, right? You want to be open to negotiations, and that's the ultimate goal here, right? So the next kind of areas here is just kind of more description related to guidelines associated with Dear Man. So if you're interested in learning more, definitely you can pause the video here and see what's there for this acronym here. Now this next section here is a good one. It's if someone is being super resistant. And this can be very hard. Like, let's say you've been able to advocate for yourself and they're still just being persistent. Being able to kind of look at the deer aspect can hopefully lead to the resolution that you're looking for. So if someone is being persistent, even though you've been able to kind of share it over and over, like, hey, look, man, you keep asking me over and over, but I said no. The hardest thing is to reduce that emotion you may feel, where you don't want to lead to blaming and you don't want to say you're not hearing me or putting them on the spot, whatever. It's just kind of being able to communicate, hey, this is what I need here, right? Next one here, the expressing your opinions and feelings of discomfort. Hey, I don't think this is a good conversation that's going on. Maybe we should take a break. I'm feeling uneasy about this. Hopefully that person can respect those feelings, but I feel like if it gets to this point too, it might be kind of a lost cause. But what's important is you're doing what you can to communicate what you need from that, right? Next one here, asserting your wishes. So again, if you need to take a step back, be able to kind of have this conversation another time, that's going to be key, and hopefully to get that resolution that you're looking for. And the reinforcement. So, being able to ensure that, if someone's trying to be pushy, that whatever's going to happen, that we're going to end the conversation, the mind isn't going to be changed, right? So let's look at the second acronym here, the give. And the give is related to ensuring that you're able to hear and respect other people, right? Now, again, like you said, it can be hard. So that's what we're trying to kind of break this down and remind ourselves, here are the things that we could do to respect what the person's other wishes are. So give is broken down into 4 different words with gentle, interested, validate, and easy. For gentle, we don't want to attack, threaten, or express judgment during interactions, except the occasional no for your requests. Again, it can be hard, especially for the person that you're with, but this is how we're able to achieve that relationship effectiveness with them. Interested. So show interest by listening to the other person without interrupting. I always like to say it's like active listening. Eye contact, you're nodding, you're kind of really just engaged, maybe kind of involved here like this. Great ways to kind of show that you're interested in the conversation. That validate part here, kind of related to a little empathy. Be outwardly validating to the person's thoughts, feelings, acknowledge them, especially if the requests are demanding, respect their opinions, right? So if you're able to kind of like verbalize or communicate this something that you need that may be hard for them, validate their feelings and emotions about it. If you can recognize that it's a hard thing that they have to swallow, a hard pill they have to swallow, recognize like, hey man, like I know it may be tough for you to hear this or to do this action, but I can understand the uneasiness that you're having with it, right? Goes a long way. And last one here, have an easy attitude. Again, act lighthearted, smile. If you're kind of rigid, it's gonna be hard to kind of get what you need there. Last one. Sometimes when we're talking about communication, we often sacrifice our own values here. So this is where the ability to utilize the acronym of FAST is key. So FAST is broken down into 4 words: fair, apology, stick to values, and truthful. So for the fair, be fair not only to others, to yourself. Apologies, this is a big one. Don't apologize unless it's warranted. Don't apologize for making a request. If you feel this happens to you a lot, again, think about where that's coming from. Why am I apologizing for this? And is it a warranted apology for that? Stick to the values. Don't compromise your values. Just be liked or get what you want. Stand up for what you believe in. And truthful. Avoid dishonesty such as exaggeration, acting helplessness as a form of manipulation, outright lying. That goes a long way to respect what you need. This section here is more so just kind of it's kind of tacked on of a reboot, a little mindfulness exercise. If you want it, by all means, take a sec there to look at that. But yeah, communication is an interesting one because it can be very hard to share what you need as well as being able to hear what the other person needs, right? And that's the goal, being able to kind of advocate for yourself, respect others, and learn that it's okay to communicate and advocate for yourself, right? Because again, if you don't, those values are going to be sacrificed. So the more you're able to kind of practice this, the better you'll be at communicating for your needs. Okay? So Thank you so much. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you're on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe. Got a whole bunch of other stuff. As I said in the first video or that I did tonight, I'm trying to get back into Psychonauts. I've just been so tired. Even right now, feeling a little under the weather, but trying to bring that content to you the best I can. But for those that are watching, thank you so much, and I'll check you all next time.